You ask any automotive enthusiast, they'll probably have their own different definition of what makes the perfect driver's car. Some want it to be as raw as possible. Others, even if it's based off of a Ford Fiesta or a Volkswagen Golf, as long as it puts a huge smile on their face, the car's doing all right. However, I think there's one aspect of a good driver's car that all enthusiasts would agree on. All the inputs must satisfy the driver's emotions. Everything you feel from the seat, the steering wheel, the pedals must just be pure, undiluted driving enjoyment. And this brings us to the Porsche 911 GT3. This car in particular is a 997, considered to be one of the last raw Porsches. It has no stability control, a 6-speed manual transmission, a naturally aspirated engine. What more could a driver want? Stay tuned and find out what I think of this amazing car. The GT3 is the more track-focused 911. This is a 997. So it's the second generation of the GT3. The first one was the 996. This is a 997.1. And many people consider the 997 GT3 to be kind of the end of an era because it doesn't have stability control. It's just very raw. Whereas after this, they had much more electronics. Certainly 991.1 was PDK only. So this car is in many ways the end of an era. So what stands out to me about the handling of this car is all of the inputs are half, or at least it feels like half of what I would put in say, our GTI or my 5 Series or something like that. It's so responsive. The car rotates, it feels like it rotates at the center as opposed to the front steers and the rear follows. The mechanical grip is incredible. I mean, if you go through a corner, you squeeze power and it just hangs on. Especially with that engine back there too. I mean, you can feel the weight. It just feels totally different to anything else out there. I mean, you hear people say the 911 is just a Beetle with a wing. Not at all. Anyone who says that is missing the point. Sure, the engine's in the wrong place, but Porsche's figured out a way to make it work. So from the factory, Porsche quotes this car at 4.1. However, Motor Trend got 3.8. And 0 to 100, that's disposed within 8.7 seconds. And it'll go on to a top speed of 193. The engine is one of my favorite things about this car. It makes very, very even power. I mean, anywhere you are, it just has the torque. The shifter is perfect, pretty much. Very positive engagement, short throws. Porsche is best in the business, in my opinion, for shifters. Clutch is very heavy, but I mean, you'd expect that in a car like this. And you actually get used to it as you drive it. Gear ratios are somewhat long. But again, I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the car. It's set up to be a higher speed car. But and it sounds really good. That's the other plus point. Is nothing like a Flat 6 soundtrack, but the styling of the GT3 is equally exciting. It's the classic 911 shape we all know and love, with lots of performance upgrades that set it apart from a normal Carrera. A wide body, a functional rear spoiler, and a more aggressive nose. It's a great package, and it works because everything on the car is functional and contributes to the performance. Inside the racy exterior, there's a large quantity of Alcantara and everything the driver interacts with, like the steering wheel and shifter. Some of the plastics in the center stack are not as luxurious as I was expecting. Do I care? No, not at all. The build quality is as you would expect from a Porsche. The seats are great for hooning and for everyday use. This car just is such a great package for track driving and everyday use. Compared to a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, this isn't really all that flashy. So for an enthusiast, you know, it's easy that they know, oh, you've got a 997 GT3. That's a cool car, and it's a good conversation starter. It's not as obnoxious as another supercar. And I like that about it. It's a little bit more understated. Yes, I just said a car with yellow seatbelts is understated, but you know, that's fine. My only gripes with the car are things that you can't really accuse it of, because sure, it's not really practical or anything like that, but that's not the point. As an object to drive, it satisfies me in every way. I mean, it's a cold November day. We're on, you know, somewhat cold tires, so I'm not pushing particularly hard, nor do I claim to be Randy Popes. So, I mean, dynamically as a road car, I feel like I'm barely even scratching the surface of it. I think my favorite thing about the GT3 is just how special it feels. It feels very much, I mean, this is really the first time I've spent any real time in a 911, but it just feels very special. It doesn't feel like anything else to drive. If anything else I've driven, even that GT350 Mustang I drove, which also felt special, it can't compare to this. This is just such a unique experience. And it's just little things like you look in the mirror and all you see is fender. And you get in it, you turn the key with your left hand in traditional Porsche fashion. I can't thank the owner enough for the opportunity to spend the day with the ultimate 911. It has all the best features Porsche enthusiasts want, and in terms of a special driving experience, the GT3 is almost impossible to compete with. Its Metzger engine provides a flawless power band and sound. The shifter is wonderfully mechanical, and its steering transmits great information about the road surface and front tires directly to your hands. And it has a rotation like any other normal car. You can really feel when you drive it that it was designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. The biggest problem now is I'm trying to figure out how I can afford a Porsche of my own. It truly is the best car I've ever driven. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. There's much more on the way. See you next time.